Got it. It's getting nice stream. And here. And now we get here. I mean, mute. Okay. Whoops. Unmute. That's what we need. All right, we got it. We are ready to go. That's good. And where is my and welcome. We are muting all the microphones. Thank you for joining us. And we are a couple of minutes away, just getting started. Thank you. This. We got two of them. We got better outfits. So what I need here is this one. Let's go with oh my goodness. The mic came open again, and man, what a bunch of noise that was. Kind of noisy. All right. We are good over here. And we're there. And wow, get quite a bit of sound here. Thank you for joining us. We're just getting started. Thank you for joining us on Discoveries in Health, and we're just getting started. And we're muting all the microphones, and we're leaving them muted at this time. Yes, so welcome to Discoveries in Health, and we're just getting started. We're muting all of them. Yes, hello. Hello. Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
I'm muting up.
That's good. Okay, all right. There we are. And it's time. It's time for Discoveries in Health. Open Bible Gateway. We can close that. And we can close that. Okay. And again, another mic is open over there in Toronto. We're going to need to close your mic. We will be asking you to unmute your microphones along the way here. We will be asking you to unmute your microphones when you have a question or a topic or a suggestion. And thank you for joining us here on Discoveries in Health. This is Bishop Dr. Truman Berst from Good Shepherd Ministries. Thank you for joining us. This is an herbal class, and what we do here is we talk about natural remedies. We discuss them. We invite your participation, asking questions, suggesting what we talk about. That's what we do here. We're spontaneous, and we do spontaneous research on the fly. So if you're asking about something that we have never heard of before, well, we're going to find out about it, and we'll talk about it. This is Discoveries in Health. And for 62 years, I've been helping people to understand natural remedies. I don't prescribe, I don't diagnose. We're talking about comforting people with old-fashioned, ancient, natural remedies. And that's what we talk about here. So just understand, if you're going to ask a question about somebody's health or about a health question, please don't ask it about yourself. Just ask this question as a topic, so that we're not prescribing and diagnosing, because we do not want to offend anybody, and we do not prescribe or diagnose. We help people understand how natural remedies, herbs, vitamins, nutrition, comforts people, nourishes people, and that's how it works. That's what we're talking about here. And we do this for the glory and for the victory of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We do it in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. And that being said, let's get started here. And the best place to start is with an opening prayer. And so with an opening prayer, let's put on that whole body armor of God. Ephesians 6:10-18, King James Version. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. And above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all of the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. In Jesus Christ's name, praise, worship, and thank you, the Most High God. In Jesus Christ's name, Yeshua, our Savior, praise, worship, and thank you, the Most High God, as we receive your complete, continuous, endless, and limitless blessing, for the glory and for the victory of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Jesus Christ's name, so be it. We receive, receive, receive. So be it. Amen. Thank you for joining us here. And now it's time to open up the microphones and ask anyone if you have a question or a topic or a suggestion. Is there something that you would like us to talk about today? Is there something that you would like to learn today? If so, press your star key 2 times on your telephone, open your microphone, and we'll talk about it here on Discoveries in Health. And we're live over dial pad meetings, over YouTube, and over Zoom. Thank you for participating. Tell your friends. This broadcast is free. We're here praising the Most High God and talking about natural remedies and how they comfort people. And we're looking at the latest science and information regarding natural remedies. I see a microphone open over there in Ohio, area code 330. What is your question, topic, or suggestion? Okay, you don't, your microphone is open. I will go ahead and close it. Unless you have a question.
Sickle cell anemia.
Sickle cell anemia. All right. That's a good, that's one that a lot of people need to know about. Thank you for asking that question. Is there anything else besides sickle cell anemia?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for asking that question. And that's what this is all about. Spontaneity, making sure that people are getting information about things they're interested in. If I'm sitting up here talking about something, you're not interested in, or you interested in, or you heard before, that's no fair. But sickle cell anemia, that is completely something that can be helped with natural remedies. People can be comforted if they have sickle cell anemia. So let's go take a look at what credible science knows about sickle cell anemia. Okay, let's take a look here. Sickle cell anemia, and bring that up and come over here. And let's go get a credible scientist here that articulates the topic. And I find that right here. And here are 5 natural remedies to help with sickle cell anemia. Let's go take a look at what science knows about this. And we get over here, and we are well, first of all, the Centers for Disease Control, CDC, estimates that sickle cell diseases, SCD, especially sickle cell anemia, affects around 100,000 Americans. Sickle cell anemia is a type of inherited sickle cell disease. It affects the red blood cells and the protein called hemoglobin. And because sickle cell anemia is an inherited disorder, sickle cell anemia is different than other types of anemia, as it runs in families and is passed down from parents to their offspring. African Americans are most likely to have sickle cell diseases. Some research shows that up to 10% of African Americans living in the United States have one copy of the sickle cell gene that causes a sickle cell disease. According to the CDC, SCD, sickle cell disease, occurs, that's SCD, occurs among about 1 out of every 365 Black or African American births, and 1 out of every 16,300 Hispanic American births. So of all the sickle cell diseases, sickle cell anemia tends to cause the most severe symptoms, limitations, and disability. As of now, there is no cure for sickle cell anemia. However, there are lots of treatment options for managing symptoms and reducing complications, including infections, fevers, kidney dysfunction, and others. Many people with sickle cell anemia or other types of sickle cell disease develop nutrient deficiencies due to problems with absorption and digestion in general. According to a 2010 report published in the journal Nutrition and Metabolic Insights, they stated that it is becoming clearer that recommended dietary allowances, RDAs, I can't compete with you, so Zakile, please, I cannot compete with you. What we're saying here is that we're going to need to look at the red blood cell issues, and we need to look at things like B12 and folic acid, which helps with anemia, and it helps with sickle cell anemia because it helps with red blood cells. It helps to build healthy red blood cells. So we need to look at those types of nutrients that they're not really absorbing. We need to look at the diet. We need to look at that make lifestyle changes diet system, because when you change the diet and they're able to absorb a dense nutrient diet system like the make lifestyle changes diet system, that gives you so much nutrition that diseases like sickle cell anemia, where they're not able to absorb the nutrients that they need, and they're constantly ill and they feel terrible. But when you give them a make lifestyle changes diet system, like this right here, okay, when we're talking about, let's get out of here. Let's go over to, all right, it wants me to log in. I can log in. All right. We're going to look at the make lifestyle changes diet system, because that's where it's going to start. We're going to, and then we'll get back to the report. But what we're talking about here, to begin with, is a nutritional deficiency. How do you correct it? With a super energy diet, a diet that will make you very powerful. And if you're not sick, then you're gonna be healthier than you've ever been. Because, for instance, what they found out in a study in October 9, 2019, is that your diet can change. Your diet can change your mood. It can help to get rid of depression, and it can boost your mood if your diet is right. And if your diet is wrong, you can be depressed and you become moody. A randomized controlled trial evaluating how a Mediterranean style diet affects young adults has linked eating more fruits and vegetables with a reduction in the symptoms of depression, stress, and anxiety. And I've got open microphones over here that I'm hearing people in, and I've got to close them over there in Ohio. Got to close that microphone. And over there in Texas, got to close that one too. Oops. There we go. All right, now we're not going to have noise in the background there, echoes and so forth. But so just eating more fruits and more vegetables. It helped to get rid of the bad moods and the depression and the stress. So just by changing the gut microbiome, getting a little bit of nutrition in there. So I keep getting these noises. So that's where it starts. That's where so many health challenges need help. You've got to have a diet. You are what you put in is what you get out. And with people with sickle cell anemia, they may be putting in more fruits and vegetables and so forth, but they're not getting it. They're not absorbing it because the digestive process is it's under attack. So what we need to do here is we need to build the immune system, eat an alkaline diet, eliminate acidic foods and drinks, drink at least a gallon of quality liquids a day that you can count. You can count quality liquids. That's water, soup, herbal tea. Those are all quality liquids. And you want to go for about a month. Spare your body having to deal with animal products. And so no animal products, no dairy, not even any fish for a month, and no hybrid foods and no alcohol. Consume the grains that are listed in the nutritional guide, like amaranth and quinoa. These are ancient grains. Most of the grains in America are not edible. And we've got a compromised water, air, food. That's the first thing evil did. Because when you want to conquer a nation, you conquer their food supply. You put them on drugs and drug them to death. That's kind of, what some people, some nations are doing. And that controls the population. We've got to get to the reality of what's happening. We need to stand up for our rights and make sure that we're getting clean air, clean water, clean food, and so forth. But that is not happening and hasn't happened for about 50 years or more, maybe 80 years now. Probably since about around since the 1940s. We've lost all the minerals out of the soil. The farming methods, are terrible. We got plenty of food, but the food hasn't got anything in it because it's not properly rotated and so forth. We got so many things going on here that shouldn't be, which is what the problem is. And
Dr. Truman.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Hello.
It's Barbara Moses.
Yes, hello, Barbara.
I'm crying. When I first came to you, my granddaughter had sickle cell SS, the worst sickle cell.
Yes.
She was in the McDonald's house. She got a bone marrow transplant. So I stayed at the bus stop with a lot of parents, children were dying from sickle cell. So learning from you and Prophet Elijah about praying and the healthy. So I had a session with all of them over at Children's Hospital. They called me a god. I said, I'm not a god. They were saving the kids' life. They out on conference now. My granddaughter is living. And they take to herbs. I want to thank you because you saved a lot of life from Children's Hospital. Some children was in McDonald's house with sickle cell SS, the word sickle cell. And I kept running over there. And they went to all the, I let the parents go and pray over their daughters, their kids. Thank you, because you saved a lot of life for God through your sister Barbara. Thank you. My granddaughter's still living.
All praises to the Most High.
That's a testimony.
All praises to the
And I
Most
want
High.
to leave that with everybody out online. One help one. I had a whole group at the bus stop. I lived at the bus stop. And we lived in all the rooms praying. The parents prayed for their children. And they went out on conference and they taking out. The kids are living.
Thank you,
Thank
sister.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Barbara, for your testimony. That these systems work. That comforting people with natural remedies works. And Barbara will tell you that it does. Thank you, Sister Barbara. So what we're talking about here is the body's out of balance. It's got sickle cell disease. And we're going to start with making sure they get nutrition, that they're able to absorb the foods that they're getting and getting a super quality food. And if anybody did that didn't have sickle cell anemia, all they're going to do is feel fantastic. So this diet isn't just for somebody who has sickle cell disease. This is a diet that if you get on this diet system and start leaning into it, all of a sudden you are stronger, healthier, enjoying life more. Then when you get to be 82 years old, like I am, you don't feel 82, you don't act 82, and you still work. You're still able to do the things you love. And I love to help people because I'm spirit-filled and spirit-led, and that's where I'm led. That's what I'm led to do by the Most High. And I love it. And I can do that. So I can do this. I can do my work. I can help people and point the way, how they can be comforted. So we talked about, consuming the grains, that are listed here, and instead of just eating wheat, most of the world is eating a lot of wheat and a lot of corn, and I'm sorry to tell you that wheat and that corn is not what you think it's not what it was. And what it is not good. So we got to go with the ancient grains like amaranth, quinoa, and the other grains listed here. High sodium foods, processed foods, they contain tons of sodium chloride, table salt, which constricts blood vessels and creates acidity. So we want to be real. If you're going to use salt, use Himalayan pink salt or that Celtic salt. Is one of the best salts in the world. It's sun dried, and it's packed with sunlight and salt in its perfect balance. So that's a kind of, if you, and then we're going to use salt sparingly, because salt, especially sodium chloride, regular table salt, constricts blood vessels and creates acidity. We're gonna not go for cold cuts and conventional meats and processed cereals such as corn flakes, no eggs, no caffeinated drinks and alcohol, oats and whole wheat products. We're not going to have any of those. All grains, whole or not, create acidity in the body. Americans ingest most of their plant food quota in the form of processed corn or wheat. We want to get milk out of the diet, and because calcium-rich dairy products cause some of the highest rates of osteoporosis. I'm going to say it again. Milk causes the highest rates of dairy products, cause the highest rates of osteoporosis. That's why. That's why we're not doing dairy. Okay? Butter is good, actually good for you. But the rest of the dairy products, they raise your cholesterol and they cause osteoporosis. So when your bloodstream becomes too acidic, it will steal calcium, which is a more alkaline substance. It takes when your bloodstream becomes too acidic, it'll steal the calcium from the bones to try to balance out the pH level of the body. And you want to try hemp milk, almond milk. You can make your own almond milk, and coconut milk. These are things that are going to be good for you. We're going to get the peanuts and the walnuts. Those are, and we're going to be cautious of those types of nuts, eating those. We're going to be cautious of the pasta, rice, bread, and packaged grain products if there's illness, until we get over the illness. Then we can use a little pasta, rice. I'm not into bread at all. And again, some of these ancient grains. You want to drink, if you're ill, you want to drink a gallon of water a day, or a gallon when you're counting all your different liquids. For instance, if you were making a quart of marshmallow root tea because you have a kidney problem and you're trying to rejuvenate the kidneys and get the kidneys going again, so you're taking a quart of water every morning and boiling it, and then when it comes to a boil, you take a tablespoon of marshmallow root herbal tea, marshmallow root tea. You put that tablespoon of marshmallow root tea in that quart of boiled water, stir it up, put the lid on it, let it cool down, drink it throughout the day. That is a diuretic that feeds and nourishes and flushes out and detoxes the kidneys. And there's a lot more to that. It's in the kidney bladder report. If you have a kidney or a problem with the urinary tract, the information is there. But the thing about this is we've got to have enough water, enough good nutrients going into the body, and we're not going to, and you can't count beer and soda pop. They're not in the equation. They're out of the equation. They're causing the problem. So we've got to feed the body what it wants, not what your emotions want, not what your brain thinks you want, and not something that somebody says, well, hey, I take that every day and I feel great. Well, how long is that going to be? We don't know, but we know if they're doing the wrong thing, one of these days, they're going to have to pay the price. So we're going to drink approximately half your weight in ounces of pure spring water with minerals. So if you weighed 300 pounds, you're going to need to put roughly 150 ounces. Half your body weight in ounces is how much water you should be putting through those kidneys and into your body every day. And you want to start every morning with 16 ounces of pure water, a spring water with minerals in it, and take an organic lemon and take a nice thick slice of it and squeeze that into your 16 ounces of water, and that will flush your kidneys out. It will flush them out. That's right. It'll help to clean out the kidneys. And so that's something we can do. And then the first thing that's listed here in the nutrients, they're going to help to really build somebody up, is B12 and folic acid drops, which when you read up on B12 and folic acid is going to tell you it helps to get rid of anemia. But this isn't sickle, but SCD, sickle cell disease, is a different kind of anemia, but still the B12 and folic acid is also going to help make you smarter. It's also going to, the B12 and folic acid drops is going to give you energy, mental energy, physical energy, and rejuvenate every cell in your body. That's all it's going to do. Rejuvenate every cell in your body. So that's why I take B12 and folic acid every day. And you can get it in a liquid and take a half a dropper 3 times daily. You'll notice that mentally you feel like you woke up when you do that. The second thing that's listed in this incredible report, where it's taken me decades and decades of refining, and only a week ago did I make some big changes in this report. I redesigned it a week ago. I'm constantly working on these reports, looking for the latest information, new breakthroughs, what science is finding out, so I can get this information to people. So that's what this website is all about. This website is not about selling products. It's about keeping you informed about the different products. I don't care where you buy them, because I don't get anything from the sale of any product. So, but you need to know what's working. And the second most important thing is liquid sunshine. Liquid sunshine is vitamin D3. Vitamin D3, there's a trick to using vitamin D3. Every October, you want to take about 50 drops of this vitamin D3, and each drop is 1,000 milligrams or IUs. 50 is each drop is 1,000, and you're taking 50 drops is 50,000. So you're taking 50 drops one time a day, and you do that for 15 days. On the 16th day, you drop back to, instead of 50 drops, you're taking 10 drops. Now that's 10,000 a day. So you're taking, you started in October. And if it's not October, well, then you get into the cycle. But you start now, whatever day this is. If you've never done it before, this is the day you start, or the day you get your liquid sunshine vitamin D3 drops, and take 50,000 for the first 15 days and 10,000 on the 16th day, and for about 6 months thereafter, or until spring. Because every October, and then you cycle it once you get into spring or in which is March, then or March or October, once you get into that cycle and you're hitting that month, that's when you do the 50,000 one for 15 days only. It boosts the immune system. When you read up on what vitamin D3 does, besides slash the risk of cancer by over 70%. That's pretty powerful. So that's it. That's how to use it, and it's all spelled out in the Make Lifestyle Changes diet report. And these links, if you're looking at B12 and folic acid, and you say, okay, great, I want to know where can I get this stuff? Well, this is a link to somebody that makes it. It's called Better Health Herbs, and but I get nothing from the sale of any products. I'm not selling products, but you need to know where you can get it. You can get it here and other places as well. And so let's open the link in a new tab. So these links are alive. So the B12 and the folic acid drops, when I clicked on it, here's what happened. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at B12 and folic acid and a place where you can get it, Health and Herbs, and I get nothing from the sale of the product. So that's it. But at least you know this is a complete system that puts you in touch with the product. And you can go somewhere else and buy it. The things you can't go somewhere else and buy from Health and Herbs is all the natural remedies I invented. They make every one of the natural remedies that I invented, and so they're stocking all the things I recommend. Nobody else is doing that, and no one. I mean, absolutely no one. They are the only one. That's why I recommend them. I recommend Health and Herbs because they're all natural. I mean, everything is organic. So this is the real deal. So that's why I recommend a good manufacturer like Health and Herbs. Okay. Now, so now you know how this works. And here we are. We were in there, and we click on a link, and we can see the product, and you can shop for it or go online, whatever. But that's how these are the things that you need for super energy. See, people aren't getting this. They're not doing these things. There's pregnenolone that that if you're all stressed out, and who isn't these days, if you're not stressed out, you don't know what's going on, because it's stressful. Everybody's stressed out these days. And pregnenolone is what they give a military pilot so they can fly another mission. Generally, the lowest dose you would take would be around 30 milligrams, unless you're allergic to everything. If you're allergic to things, you take the very small amount and you check it out and make sure that you can handle it, and you're not allergic to it. But pregnenolone, it goes from anywhere from 30 milligrams per dose. They give up to as much as 700 milligrams are reported safely taken in research settings. These are things that have been researched, and what we're doing is we are quoting the research. That's it. So now you know about B12 and folic acid drops, and the vitamin D to boost the immune system, and pregnenolone to get rid of stress if you are stressed out. Fulvic acid, also called hyaluronic acid or shilajit, is dirt. Well, it's not dirt. It's extracted. All the nutrients that are in dirt are extracted, and it's called fulvic acid. And it's all the ancient vitamins and minerals and everything. It's when a tree finally goes down and becomes dust again, or anything living becomes dust again and goes back into the earth, it becomes fulvic acid. It's all trapped in the dirt. And they found a way to extract it, and it's very inexpensive, and everyone should take it. And especially people with sickle cell anemia should be taking fulvic acid because it's a specific nutrient for the digestive tract. And that's where sickle cell anemia people are having a horrible problem trying to absorb everything. Now here's everything being delivered to the digestive tract. Fulvic acid, inexpensive, super dynamic, wonderful, inexpensive powerhouse of nutrition. Fulvic acid. Take a teaspoon once or twice a day. A good multiple vitamin liquid, multiple vitamins called Miracle 2000. Now I understand that it's not available from the health and herbs people because they're getting ready to move into their new location. But then they'll be stocking all these kinds of things as well. But right now, if you find that something's out of stock, well, pick it up locally or online. But Miracle 2000 is a good, inexpensive, multiple vitamin. So you could find that, either through health and herbs or somewhere else. It's great. And if the immune system is compromised from the sickle cell anemia, or if you have a compromised immune system and they've said your immune system is low, we don't know what to do. Well, here's what to do. Colostrum. That's what mom does. When the baby is born, and the first thing that comes into mom's breast milk, along with the breast milk, the first thing is loaded with all the immune factors made by God in mom, so that mom could immunize the baby. And babies get this, and that's the first thing that comes into their mouth along with the breast milk is colostrum. All of the immune factors. And so a baby who's not does not get breastfed immediately after birth does not get immunized by nature. Nice bones. Everybody needs calcium and magnesium, but you need a calcium and magnesium you can absorb. And the nice bones is a good quality calcium and magnesium, and the dosages are on the label, and that's what you take. You're going to take 1 in the morning and 2 in the evening, and you may need to take more magnesium because so many people are. What happened to my report here? I lost the meeting. Okay, we lost the meeting, and we got to go back into the meeting at 5:25. They kicked us out of the meeting. Thank you, dial pad, you turkeys. Let's see. Let's see if we can get back in here. I know we can do this, but dial pad, it shouldn't be doing this. They should not be kicking me out. Okay, we go over to here and we click here and we say, get us back into that meeting. And join the meeting. And we lost this meeting. The dial pad system failed once again. So that's what happened. And sorry about that. So I'm getting this back in to dial pad meetings. And one person stayed there or came back in, and that person isn't the person who asked the question about sickle cell anemia, but we're going to continue talking about sickle cell anemia after I get some water, actually herbal tea. All right. So we're back in dial pad meetings and we're continuing to talk about sickle cell disease. So we talked about how valuable calcium and magnesium is, but people need more magnesium. And you want a magnesium citrate or ammoniate lysate chelate, a chelated magnesium. And so, yes, dial-pad meetings failed us once again and crashed. And they do that. They were doing that. We were doing pretty good with dial-pad last few times, but they're back with their crashing scenario. Magnesium. If you have any cramping, tight muscles, and that kind of thing, magnesium. Increase your magnesium till you don't have cramps. Increase your magnesium till you don't have tight muscles, because it's a muscle relaxant. You can also take other, herbs. If there's inflammation, then you need to, address the inflammation. But like turmeric, boswellia. However, magnesium, make sure you're getting enough magnesium, because at least 40%, 4 out of 10 people that you meet are deficient in magnesium, and it's probably more like 80%. So betaine. Now there's something with sickle cell disease, people, they're not digesting. They're not able to break down and digest their food. So, and they may even have GERD, gas acid reflux. Oh my, hold on while I get more tea. So, because the sickle cell disease is making people have poor digestion, betaine HCl helps digest your food, because the betaine is an amino acid that converts to pepsinogen, and the pepsinogen converts to pepsin, the enzyme that digests food. And if you take one with each meal, you won't have GERD or gas acid reflux. And if you have an episode of gas acid reflux, you take 2 betaine HCl with about 12 ounces of water. In 10 minutes, no more gas acid reflux, no GERD. So that is another important tool for those who need to be able to digest and break down and digest their food. 1 betaine with each meal. And 2, if you have gas acid reflux and need help, and it takes care of it in 10 minutes. That's it. And everyone needs vitamin C. How much vitamin C is a serious dose? A serious dose of vitamin C is 5,000 milligrams every 4 hours. I'll say it again. 5,000 milligrams every 4 hours. You would give that to somebody who needed some tissue repair or tissue building. Maybe they're healing or trying to heal up. Well, that's when you give them a massive dose of vitamin C. Or if they have any kind of a virus, infection. That's when you take massive doses of vitamin C, 5,000 every 4 hours, because every 4 hours, the vitamin C is gone. Whatever you put in there, every 4 hours, it's gone. But 5,000 is a very impactful amount of vitamin C. And if you do that every 4 hours, that will do some serious tissue rebuilding. People who have a low sperm count, it will raise it. So, but if you just want to stay alive, then 1,000 milligrams every 4 hours, it will keep you alive. If you're a chimpanzee, and if you're a chimpanzee in a zoo and you don't get at least 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C every 4 hours, you're going to be sick. You're going to be a dead chimpanzee. So humans have the same type of a physiology, and so if 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C is barely enough to keep us alive if we take it every 4 hours for tissue rebuilding. Otherwise, your body will stop building tissue to a great degree. If you're not getting any vitamin C, then you got scurvy. Okay, so vitamin C is very important, and there is, 5,000 is the mega dose. People take more, etc., but that's the dose that's going to do the job. If you're serious about tissue repair, or if you really need a big dose. Otherwise, 3,000 milligrams 3 times a day every 4 hours is a very nice dose. Puts you at 12,000 milligrams for the day, and that's a very good dose. That's a powerful dose of vitamin C. and super enzymes. Super enzymes, that would be the other thing. We'd make sure that anybody with sickle cell disease would be super enzymes. So that because that's what they're doing with the betaine. It's an enzyme. Pepsin is an enzyme. Well, we're going to give them a whole bunch of different enzymes, and it's going to really help them to digest better. So that's why they would do that. Now, if they're underweight, they have to be very careful of a lot of enzymes, because a lot of enzymes will cause you to start losing weight. So those super enzymes will cause weight loss. So you have to be careful of enzymes if you're underweight. If you're not underweight, hey, have some enzymes. One with each meal. The other thing is the correct bacteria in the stomach. And that can be corrected by a non-dairy acidophilus powder that goes 5 billion per gram. And you take a quarter of a teaspoon of it a half hour before meals, and it gives you all the good bacteria in the stomach, which the people with sickle cell disease don't have. But now you can get it. You can put it in there. Then you have it. Then you've got the correct bacteria. And people who are struggling with illnesses and so forth, it's affecting their stomach. And the bacteria in your stomach can change in one day. So if you're eating wrong one day for that day, next day, no bacteria in you, or reduced amount of bacteria in your stomach. So yes, you got to keep putting it in, the good bacteria. So then here's a list of natural antibiotics. Now, that's a very important list because there's only a few antibiotics in the allopathic world, pharmaceutical world that that actually are valuable and help people. And these natural antibiotics, there's a list of them. If you have any kind of an infection, you can take like 2 or 3 different natural antibiotics at the same time. And the trick about natural antibiotics is you take them for 7 to 10 days, then you switch. You stop taking, if you took 3 different natural antibiotics, you take them for 10 days. Stop, take a different set of 2 or 3 natural antibiotics for another 7 to 10 days. If you have a serious infection that did not disappear after 7 to 10 days, you got to go another 7 to 10 days, but do it with different natural antibiotics. I like to choose like colloidal silver water. And number 1018, antibio with echinacea, golden seal, procruit, and cayenne. Those are a couple of fantastic ones. There's a list there, and very valuable to know that list is there in this report. And on that website, under common conditions, under natural antibiotics, there is a list of natural antibiotics that are very, very important to know about. Then listed below here for sickle cell anemia, and if anybody who just wants to be super person and have all kinds of stamina, power, energy, clarity, endurance, well, MSM. MSM is sulfur, natural sulfur from wood. And and when you're getting 1 teaspoon of this MSM, ultra pure MSM powder, looks like a looks like a pound of sugar, but it's a little bit bitter, and it is not sweet. It's a byproduct of wood. And the first week, you take 1 teaspoon of MSM powder with each meal. And the second week, you take 2 teaspoons with each meal. The third week, 3 teaspoons with each meal. When you get to that dosage, your skin gets clearer. It's a detoxer. That's why you start very slowly, because it's going to detox you. It's going to detox every cell in your body. And when it's detoxing every cell in your body, you're going to feel wonderful. You're going to feel better than you've felt in years, because it takes every cell and it keeps every cell younger, longer. It permeates the cell and keeps the cell younger, longer, and it keeps it wet. It's called permeability. And so now instead of your cells aging naturally and dying off, and all of a sudden you turn the dried up old person, well, now that doesn't happen if you're taking the maximum dose, 3 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon with each meal. But you don't do it right away. You step into it. 1 teaspoon the first week, 2 teaspoons the second week, 3 teaspoons the third week, 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. Then you are detoxing every cell in your body. Your skin, hair, fingernails, everything gets better. That's what it does, because every cell in your body lives longer. You live longer. Yes. Finally, daily health tea spice, that's Pau-de Arco bark. It's a blood cleaner. When I brought this in about 50 years ago from South America, it's the bark of an inner tree called tabuya. And this Pau-de Arco bark is bitter, and nobody wanted it. But but they use it in South America. You can't say this. You can't say you can use it in America for cancer, diabetes, and that kind of thing. But they do use it for those things in South America. And it's a blood cleaner. So I took this bitter bark of a tree and I added stevia leaf, which sweetened it up, cinnamon spice, which gave it a nice flavor. Then I added natural raspberry, orange, and ginger. And wow, did that absolutely turn into a beautiful tasting tea. You got to remember, it was a bark of a tree. Nobody wanted it. Now everybody wants it. Now everybody wants it. If you're brewing up a cup of this daily health tea spice, people will walk by and say, "What are you drinking? That smells so good," and they want some, and it tastes as good as it smells. But anyway, it's a blood cleaner. Powder tea. You have a cup or two or three, and that's how that works. So then, when you're hungry, so that's what you're getting all these nutrients into your diet. And when you're hungry, you're going to eat, fruit, banana, mango, cantaloupe, melons, berries. So this system is so complete. It gives you suggested fruits. Then it gives you how to make your own organic almond or hemp or flax or nut or seed milk. And it tells you how to make it. It tells you how to take the almonds and soak them down, and then make your own homemade almond milk and save a ton of money. So that recipe is there. And lately I've been using coconut milk, pressed coconut milk, to make my power drink. But here's some recipes and some ingredients. There's the cinnamon. You can get organic cinnamon, organic cacao if you want chocolate. And if you don't, leave out the ingredients you don't want or you don't like. If you don't like vanilla, don't put vanilla in it. But if you like cinnamon and chocolate and vanilla, put it in, or whichever ones you do like. And then you're going to the store and you're getting sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, and you're getting all these seeds, and you're putting them in your refrigerator, and so you can make your power drink every day and save money and be a powerhouse of energy. So you order milk thistle seed powder and put that in your power drink, maybe a teaspoon of it. With each, if it's a bullet blender drink, one serving size, about 12 ounces, just put a teaspoon of flaxseed, a teaspoon of sunflower seeds, a teaspoon of these seeds, teaspoon of the milk thistle seed powder, because the milk thistle seed powder will protect your liver. It'll coat over your liver to where poisons can't get into it. And you're going to be, we talked about this earlier today, when someone was telling me that they're having a lot of eye problems. And come to find out, the person was having a lot of liver problems because they weren't able to have a bowel movement, but every 3 or 4 days. And that's the way it was all going all their life. And they didn't know that there was any way to help it. So I talked about a liver cleanse and the milk thistle seed powder that's in this power drink. I talked about the milk thistle seed powder because it coats over the liver and it protects the liver from toxins and poisons and bad things. And it rebuilds new liver cells by every 120 days, 60% new liver cells. So you put milk thistle seed in there to protect your liver and to rebuild new liver cells. You put a teaspoon of that powder in your power drink, and you put some maca root in there because that is a super power food. And you put organic raw protein from pea protein. You put that in your, that's the best protein to put in your power drink. And the super green foods, that's the most important thing in your power drink because chlorella, spirulina, barley grass, wheatgrass, alfalfa powder, olive leaf extract, and even seaweed is in that super green food powder. And that all goes in your power drink. And then you add some fresh or dried or frozen. You can put in raisins, mangoes, pineapple, and the pineapple, you want the core. Okay, you want a fresh pineapple. You want the core of the pineapple, because that is the digester. That's where all the digestive enzymes are, is in the core of the pineapple. So you want to make sure and get that core of the pineapple. A lot of people, they take the core and they throw it away and they eat the pineapple. What's going on? Anyway, they shouldn't do that. They should eat the whole pineapple. It's kind of like a watermelon. What the seeds in the watermelon are a tonic and help to flush out the kidneys. They are one of the greatest diuretics in the world, is watermelon seeds. Guess what? They took the watermelon seeds out of the watermelons. Now people don't have a free kidney tonic. They used to spit them out and throw them away. I always chewed my watermelon seeds. I still do, when I can find a watermelon that's got seeds. But anyway, so you're getting all these fruits and pineapple and cherries and blueberries and cranberries and anything in your power drink, so it tastes just the way you'll love it. And that's it. And one day I'll put in some seeds, and I'm adding my coconut milk, and then the next day I'll be putting in some nuts and so forth. So I'm rotating what I'm putting in my power drink. I'm adding to it, and then I make sure and finish the whole power drink within 3 days. Okay, and I'm always starting fresh. And then with sickle cell anemia, let's get back to it, because that's what we were really getting into. Let's go back to it. So let's get away from our diet for a moment. But what we're talking about here is we need a nutrient-dense diet, and it's got to be loaded. It says right here in the scientific article that I did not write, that I'm citing for you. It's telling you that many people with anemia or other types of sickle cell disease develop nutrient deficiencies due to problems with absorption and digestion in general. And according to a 2010 report published in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolic Insights, it is becoming clearer that recommended dietary allowances, RDAs, are for the general population. And for the general population are insufficient for sickle cell patients. They're actually insufficient for the general population too. But it's severely insufficient for sickle cell patients. A significant percentage of sickle cell anemia patients will deal with deficiencies in nutrients, including iron. So we make sure that they get extra iron from an herbal tincture extract called Plasmania, number 1015. And you're taking a half dropper full 3 times a day of this 1015 Plasmania herbal tincture. and it's important for preventing complications due to sickle cell anemia, such as growth and development abnormalities, and decreased bone density, and higher risk for fractures for people with SCD, sickle cell disease, and they have vision problems. So we need to make sure that they're getting the vision nutrients. You need to look at the eye report and make sure that they're getting that eye kit to help their vision, and so they don't have vision problems. Because also with sickle cell anemia, you are there's a higher susceptibility to infections and others and other health issues. So they're going to want to know about these natural antibiotics to get this thing corrected. So so that's important. Now I'm going to bounce right back over here to the make lifestyle changes, because the next thing that it's saying is that if you're going to use that number 1015 plasmania so that you get extra iron, because you need all these nutrients and you're not getting them. So now you know where you can get it. There's an herbal tincture extract. Take a half a dropper full three times a day, and you're getting iron, and you're building the blood. People need to build up the blood, and they can build up the blood with number 1015. But the thing about this liquid, this little dropper full of liquid, that you're half a dropper full three times a day, if you're taking any other liquid vitamins or nutrients, if you're taking any other, you can put them all into one cup. In other words, all the liquids can be combined in one cup. So if you're taking 10, if you've got 10 or 15 different health disorders, and you're taking maybe 10 or 15 different herbal liquids, all of the liquid extracts can go into one cup. I use a glass, and if you're taking 3 doses, you put all your doses into one glass one time. And if you're taking, so that's 1 glass, then that's 1 dose. Then you do it again, you make 3 cups. And there's your 3 doses. Or if you're taking 2 doses, make 2 glasses of each dose. Go right into the cup. And that's how you take your herbs. So so now, and you're putting all these superfoods into your power drink. Now, to make it easy, here's the kit. Here's a starter kit that gives you the MSM powder, the acidophilus, the milk thistle seed powder, maca root, the super green foods, the raw protein pea powder, and the cinnamon bark. It's all in one kit. It's a starter kit to get you started into your Make Lifestyle Changes diet system. And there it is. It's kit number 0777. That's kit number 0777 when you go on the website. But I don't get anything from the sale of any product. But that is a kit, and you save money. You get a discount. And you got a starter kit. Then when you start running out of MSM powder or acidophilus or any of these other things, you reorder what you want to keep taking and putting in your power drink. So that's a nice little kit that you can use. Then there's the daily protocol of how to make your cereal blender drink. And if you're going to make a 2-quart blender for the whole family, here is the 2-quart blender recipe for the whole family. Otherwise, pare it down and make just enough for a daily dose with what they call a bullet blender drink. So that's it. And so diet is really important, and it goes on into the best alkaline and the best acid foods and so forth, because the next thing is you're going to want to eat, and you want to eat what's good for you. So you go down into this report. You go down into this report, and it gives you a list of whole food, plant-based diet meal plans. That means you can pick the meals you like. You're not eating something or a meal you don't like. You're choosing the plant-based diet meal plans that you like, okay? Then you go down and you choose the recipes that you like. So now you're eating the food you want, not something you don't want, okay? So, and when you're looking at these diet meal plans and you're looking at the recipes and you look at the ones you like, okay, and it's giving you all these vegan protein sources and charts and foods. So you got these acid alkaline food charts. You got the meal plans, the recipes. You said, this is the food I want. Then you take and you look at the food that you want to eat and you look at the acid alkaline food chart and you say, oh, this one's acid. This one's alkaline. I need about 70% alkaline and 30% acid if I'm really sick. If I've got cancer, diabetes, heart disease, whatever it is, and I'm really a sick person, I need about a 70% alkaline diet. But if I'm really healthy, I can get away with about a 60% alkaline diet, and it can be 40% acid. But if you're not well, you're battling diseases, you want about a 30% acid and 70% alkaline foods. So that way you're picking the food you like and you're finding out which ones are acid, which ones are alkaline. Now you're eating an acid alkaline food balanced diet. You're eating a super dense nutrient diet, a balanced acid alkaline diet. You got the best diet in the world right there. That's it. That's how to do it. That is how to do it. So then we get back over to the sickle cell anemia, and let's take a little closer look at exactly what it is. We found out the diet and what to do, and we talked about the sickle cell and anemia. That people are iron deficient, so we gave you the number 1015 plasmania herbal formula, half a dropper full 2 to 3 times a day. But sickle cell anemia and other sickle cell diseases are part of a group of hemoglobinopathies. Hemoglobinopathies. These hemoglobinopathies develop when someone inherits at least one defective sickle S beta globin gene from a parent, along with another type of abnormal hemoglobin gene that affects how red blood cells work. The most common types of sickle cell disease include sickle cell anemia, or HBSS. Then there is hemoglobin SC disease, or HBSC. And there's the third one, hemoglobin SB thalassemia. Thalassemia, or HBSB, and that's it. Those who have any type of sickle cell disease produce abnormal hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a protein in red blood cells. It normally carries oxygen throughout the body via the blood. The abnormal hemoglobin associated with sickle cell disease is referred to as hemoglobin S, or sickle hemoglobin. Sickle cell diseases are characterized by deformed, abnormally shaped red blood cells with a crescent shape. This shape makes it difficult for them to travel through blood vessels. Normally, red blood cells are flexible and disc-shaped, appearing round. They have a thicker edge and a shallow middle. The disc shape allows them to pass easily through small blood vessels. However, sickle cell shaped red blood cells are typically stiffer and more fragile, causing them to break or become lodged in the vein or artery. This can be blocked. This can then block blood flow while reducing oxygen supply throughout the body. So then these people are not getting enough oxygen. Let's increase the oxygen. How do you do that? Well, coenzyme Q10, that's going to help. Anybody who has a stroke or doesn't want a stroke, they take they want to take the nutrients that are listed, and the nutrients that are always listed is coenzyme Q10 because it increases oxygen to the cells. The other top nutrient that's going to increase oxygen to the cells is oh my goodness. I'm going to give you that one in a minute. What we're talking about here is hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide, food grade, will bring oxygen to the cells. So you find out about, you go on the website, herbalhealthreview.com, and you look for hydrogen peroxide, food grade 35%. And you'll see that when you do that, let's take a look here. Food, okay, let's go peroxide. Okay, now when we're looking at this hydrogen peroxide food grade, you're going to see a chart, and it's going to tell you how to use this food grade hydrogen peroxide. You always dilute the hydrogen peroxide in 3 to 5 ounces of water upon rising and at bedtime. So morning and night, you're taking 3 to 5 ounces of water. And the first week, you're putting 3 drops into each dose, each cupful. Each 3 to 5 ounces of water, 3 drops of the 35% food grade hydrogen peroxide. That's the first week. Second week, you go from 3 drops 2 times a day to 5 drops 2 times a day. Third week, 10 drops 2 times a day. And the fourth week, 15 drops 2 times a day. Fifth and 10th week, about 20 drops 2 times a day. And the 11th to the 16th week, about 15 drops 2 times a day. On the 17th week and onward, then you drop back and you stay at 10 drops 2 times a day. So a maintenance dose, if you're going to continue to oxygenate every cell in your body, you're going to take 5 to 15 drops every single day, which is how I take my hydrogen peroxide. It also makes your teeth whiter, and it and it's a disinfectant, disinfects your mouth. So kind of nice to know that. So that's hydrogen peroxide. Let's get back to sickle cell anemia, because they keep posing problems, but they're not giving you the solutions. So I'm giving you the solutions with natural remedies, that what This is what science is using. Not every red blood cell will be sickle shaped. When someone has SCD, but the more disease progresses over time, the higher the number of cells that will become deformed. So as you go on, this gets worse. Sickle cell anemia will cause red blood cells to die in about 10 to 20 days, as opposed to normally these cells are staying alive 120 days, and they're only getting 10 to 20 days. Everybody else is getting 120 days. So they need to keep bringing in these these nutrients. Anyway, what that's causing, it causes the patient to have a shortage of red blood cells, and that's anemia, and also a lack of oxygen throughout the day. Okay, so that's what's going on, and and it's causing fatigue and weakness, symptoms of a fever, swelling, and fluid retention. And they don't know why they're swelling up and have fluid retention they can't get rid of. Shortness of breath, chest pains, which can make it difficult to exercise or be active. There can be joint and bone pains, especially in the long bones, such as those in the extremities. And there can be problems with bone marrow, especially in the hands and the feet, can cause bone pain. And there can be symptoms of jaundice. and you want to drink cherry juice for that jaundice. Cherry juice helps with jaundice. It's and these symptoms of jaundice, it's common for people with SCD, sickle cell disease, to have jaundice, which causes symptoms of like yellowing of the skin. There'll be vision problems. Then you want to look at the eye report that I wrote, and you want to look at getting an eye kit to protect your vision and increase your vision. Then abdominal pains, nausea, vomiting, and digestive upset. Those are all common. Okay? And poor circulation in the skin that causes sores. So we need to increase circulation. So we want to look at herbs that help with circulation. So that would be another thing that we would add to this, to what we need here, because circulation it is also a problem, and there are herbs that can help with circulation, and we want to add those into this the diet. The common signs and symptoms of sickle cell anemia, it blocked blood flow in the blood vessels, pain, and then they probably could use something for pain and inflammation, and water retention. So all of these are herbal remedies that are all available. These that could help with these symptoms, to comfort these people. And that's what we're talking about, is comforting people. Other symptoms develop that can affect the whole body. Over time, this can contribute to complications, including dysfunction of the kidneys. So then you want to look at the kidney report and know all about how to keep those kidneys going. There's herbs for the spleen, because it affects the spleen and it affects the brain. And you want to know about herbs that cross the blood-brain barrier and reduce inflammation, like turmeric. Turmeric So we're going to get a lot of turmeric into the diet, and we're going to get kidney herbs in there, and a kidney cleanse. There's a kidney cleanse program that they can go on. And there are herbs for the spleen and the pancreas. And so these are the kinds of things that we need to be using. And that would be 1393, herbal tincture number 1393 is for the spleen and the pancreas. But it's affecting all the bones. It's affecting other organs in the body. So, and we need to find out just what it's affecting in each person. Every person with sickle cell disease will have some degree of anemia. However, this can occur on a spectrum, with some cases being more severe than others. Some with sickle cell diseases have few symptoms and lead a productive life, and others develop severe symptoms and have limitations. Sickle cell anemia symptoms usually include fatigue and weakness, and we talked about all of these things: shortness of breath, chest pains, joint pains. So and it can be nausea, and we have things for nausea. So jaundice and so forth. We talked about that, and there's a risk of blood clots. So you want to know what there's a report on the website herbalhealthreview.com under the common conditions that's called clogged arteries. Anyone who's got blood clots or clogged arteries needs to read that report. Clogged artery report. Did a lot of research there. Found an enzyme the Japanese invented a little over 1,000 years ago. The body makes enzymes to break up blood clots and keep the body healthy. And so the Japanese created an enzyme that is, and by the way, the one that's in the body that humans have is called plasma. That enzyme. But the Japanese, created an enzyme that is 4 times stronger than the body's own plasma, and it's called nattokinase. Nattokinase, and that's the main herb. And then there's horny goatweed that also breaks up blood clots. So there are things that people need to know about that can break up these clots, these blood clots. And people with congestive heart failure, people with clogged arteries, that we need to clean them out. They need to know what to use. Things like nattokinase, horny goatweed. And since there's a higher risk for liver damage, we need the milk thistle seed extract. And since we know that it can cause kidney damage, we need a kidney cleanse kit. And and for that liver damage, besides the milk thistle seed extract, we could use a liver cleanse program called cleansing program with bentonite clay. And there's two kinds. If you have constipation, it's called a cleansing program that is a dry program where you're taking an herbal tea. So that, and that one for people who are constipated, that's number 4488. The one for people who aren't constipated and you want to clean your liver up and strengthen your liver and digestive system, if you're not constipated, you use the cleansing program with bentonite clay, number 4486. This sickle cell anemia, sickle cell disease, it also causes sexual dysfunction, including painful erections. So we look at herbs that can help that as well. And there are herbs that can help with pain and with sexual dysfunction. And as you increase your nutrition, the sexual dysfunction can clear up, because you're not getting enough nutrients to want to even reproduce. In children, developmental problems may occur, such as shortening of the torso in proportion to the arms and legs from these nutritional deficiencies that aren't addressed. And there's a higher risk of stroke. But we know about the CoQ10, and we know about the hydrogen peroxide. And there's also seizures, a possibility of seizures. And symptoms like numbness in the limbs and difficulty speaking and loss of consciousness. And a higher risk for enlargement of the heart and heart murmurs. So we need to give you herbs to strengthen the heart and an amino acids to protect and strengthen the heart, like L-carnitine. And there's a heart formula of herbs to strengthen the heart. These are the things that people don't know about, and they're suffering for our people are perishing for lack of knowledge. Most people who have sickle cell anemia trait, but not the disease, don't display many of the symptoms. They are typically able to live normal, healthy lives. When a child inherits a defective gene from another one parent, he or she will carry the sickle cell disease trait, but will not display the full symptoms. Some of their red blood cells and hemoglobin will be normal. Others will be deformed. Conventional treatment for sickle cell anemia, doctors can perform a type of blood test called electrophoresis, and to determine with this electrophoresis, to determine if someone has sickle cell disease. This test separates different types of hemoglobin to detect if some are abnormally shaped. Doctors may suspect sickle cell disease in people with a family history, especially if they are experiencing symptoms like fever, fatigue, stomach pains, bone pains, and nausea. Because sickle cell disease cannot typically be cured. The goal of treatment is usually to prevent sickle cell crisis and reduce symptoms to improve quality of life. This is conventional treatment for sickle cell anemia. If in conventional treatment, if sickle cell crisis or emergency occurs, patients usually need to stay in the hospital and be monitored while receiving fluids and medications. The most obvious symptom will be pain, including sudden, dull, dull, stabbing, throbbing, or sharp pains in the abdomen and chest. The patient may need oxygen as well as a blood transfusion in some cases. Other treatments include hydroxyurea, medication, increases production of a form of hemoglobin that helps prevent red blood cells from becoming sickle cell shaped. Bone marrow transplant. A bone marrow or stem cells may be taken from a family member who doesn't have the disease and transplanted to the patient. This can be a risky procedure. It requires taking medications that suppress the immune system, preventing the body from fighting the transplanted cells. There's gene therapy, is a conventional treatment. This is done by implanting genes in precursor cells that produce normal red blood cells. So that's conventional. The natural treatments for sickle cell anemia: diet and supplements to help manage anemia. That's what we talked about here. Diets and supplements. Eating a certain type of diet will not help cure sickle cell anemia or prevent it, but it can help to manage symptoms and prevent further complications. Those with sickle cell anemia may have a harder time digesting protein, amino acids, and many different micronutrients, sometimes leading to malnutrition, weight loss, and many side effects as a result. There are tips to focus on in order to help a sickle cell a person meet all of your nutritional needs. You want to be sure to eat enough calories in general. Sickle cell anemia can sometimes cause malabsorption and higher caloric needs to prevent weight loss. You're going to need to eat a nutrient-dense, nutrient-dense diet that includes a variety and plenty of fresh produce, fruits, and veggies. You're going to need to try including colorful fruits and vegetables with every meal to get enough vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Some of the best choices include all leafy green veggies, chard, carrots, mushrooms, asparagus, tomatoes, and bell peppers. You want to eat enough protein and healthy fats. Good sources of healthy proteins include grass-fed beef, cage-free eggs, and these are the things that you're going to leave out of the diet. You're going to leave out the beef and the eggs out of the diet, but you're going to be sure to put in wild-caught fish like salmon or sardines, liver and organ meats. If you're going to have a grass-fed beef, you're going to need to focus on eating the organ meats like liver, kidneys, heart, etc. Those are what we're supposed to be eating instead of the flesh of the animal. We're supposed to eat the organs of the animal, in case you didn't know. Lentils or collagen protein. We need these things. These foods are also high in iron. This helps to reduce anemia, symptoms like fatigue or weakness. And healthy fats. We want to include coconut oil. We want coconut milk, olive oil, avocados and avocado oil, nuts and seeds, and grass-fed butter or ghee. If you're going to, eat those foods, those are the foods that are actually going to be good for you. You want to consume foods high in folate, which helps with the production of red blood cells. That's why we're taking the B12 and folic acid drops in the Make Lifestyle Changes diet system. And also these foods high in folates to help the production of red blood cells include chickpeas, pinto beans, lentils, spinach, liver, and organ meats, avocado, beets, broccoli, and asparagus. Your doctor might also recommend taking a folate or folic acid supplement to help with this and to prevent folate deficiency. However, a healthy diet is the best way to obtain folate the body can most easily use. You want to consume 100% whole ancient grains, legumes, or beans if you tolerate them well. If you don't tolerate them well, leave it out of the diet. And you want to consume animal sources of protein to get enough B vitamins, or take B complex. If you're not into animal proteins, get vitamin B complex and get amino acids. That's what protein is breaking down to become. Drink enough water every day to prevent electrolyte imbalances and symptoms of dehydration. Aim, like we said, for at least, they're saying eight glasses per day. We're saying that you need a gallon of water per day, or as much as, or if you're, let's look at the size of the person, the weight, and they got to consume approximately half their body weight in quality fluid daily. And you can't count soda pop, and you can't count beer or alcohol. And you want to stay away from fruit concentrate. Fruit juice from concentrate, tell them to keep it. That's not good. You want real fruit juice if you're going to have juice, if you're going to have fruit juice. And And it's got to be organic. Everything needs to be organic, or it's not real. And you're going to go backwards if you're not eating organic. Eating inorganic foods is going to cause symptoms. You want to avoid eating processed packaged foods and empty calories like sugary foods, refined grains, fast foods, and sweetened drinks. That's out of the picture. Don't do it. Supplements to reduce deficiencies. In addition to eating a healthy, varied diet, experts recommend taking several supplements that can treat deficiencies, protect bones, and provide other protective effects. Overall, more research is still needed to confirm which supplements might be most useful. But for now, the following seem to offer benefits when taken in moderate dosages. Vitamin D is the first one on the list, and we already talked about it. Calcium, we already talked about that. Folate and folic acid, we talked about that. You want to make sure you're getting those omega-3 fatty acids, like flaxseed oil. Okay. And you want to make sure you're taking vitamin B6 and B12. And we talked multiple vitamins that include copper, zinc, magnesium. And, those have been found to be the most beneficial. You want to reduce stress and get enough rest. Depending on the person's symptoms, it's still possible to stay active and exercise even with sickle cell anemia. However, exercise might need to be gentler or moderate rather than vigorous. Balance exercise with plenty of rest and sleep. And it's best, somebody came back in. And it's best to get a doctor's opinion about how much exercise is best. In order to help the body recover from exercise and other sources of stress, whether physical or emotional, sleep at least 7 to 9 hours per night. Also, put aside time during the day to unwind and relax. Other relaxing ways to help you cope with stress can include prayer. Keep the faith. Keep praying in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. People use meditation, yoga, breathing exercises. If you're going to use acupuncture, I always ask an acupuncturist if he's a Christian, because I don't want a pagan sticking pins in me. Anyway, massage therapy or aromatherapy. These are all things that could be helpful. Prevent overexertion and dehydration. One of the most important things someone with sickle cell anemia can do is prevent the amount of oxygen in their blood from dropping to very low levels by avoiding overexertion and very stressful situations. Sickle cell disease is rarely deadly, but in some cases, when someone becomes very fatigued or dehydrated due to strenuous activity, such as athletic training or military training, it is possible for symptoms to suddenly become severe and life-threatening. Sickle cell crisis is the term for a severe reaction due to reduced oxygen supply. This can be caused by anything that is very physically demanding and stressful to the body to handle, so the body can't handle it well, such as very vigorous exercise, spending time at very high altitudes. You don't want to live in Denver. such as mountain climbing or flying. You don't do that if you have sickle cell anemia. Or when recovering from an illness. You have to be more careful when you have sickle cell anemia when you're recovering from an illness. Essential oils to reduce pain naturally. Sickle cell anemia can cause pains including joint stiffness, muscle weakness, bone pain, and abdominal chest pains. And you can use oils like peppermint oil and lavender oil, and eucalyptus oils. Anyway, that's it. That's basically it for sickle cell anemia. If you'd like a copy of this full report, if you'd like a copy of this broadcast or any other information, please contact me. My telephone number is 503-362-5899. 503-362-5899. My email address is Doc Truman, that's DOCTRUMAN at herbalhealthreview.com. Doc Truman at herbalhealthreview.com. And that's about it. Let's get to that closing prayer, and all praises to the Most High. Let's go over here and let's get that whole body armor of God on again and make sure it's on and stays on. Ephesians 6:10-18. We need to live in this whole body armor of God. We really do. That's how times are very, very difficult. So I would suggest you put this on in the morning and maybe check and make sure and put it on again in the afternoon and even in the evening. As it says in Ephesians 6:10-18, King James Version of the Bible. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. In Jesus Christ's name, we pray. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. We're witnessing those things. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the whole breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. In Jesus Christ's name, Yeshua, all praises to the Most High God. Thank you for listening to Discoveries in Health. We're here every Thursday. Tell your friends about us. We'll be back again next Thursday. I want to thank you for listening. Let's open the microphones here, and let's all praise the Most High together. Thank you for joining us. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High God.
All praises to the Most High. So much, Dr. Truman.
Thank you so much for listening. All praises to the Most High God. Praise, worship, and thank you in Jesus Christ's name. Thank you for listening.